We'll give you the agenda for next half an hour. I believe the debate is already done. We're over to the debate and the questions. Next thing is that we clap. Give them a. We are getting into WIs, much at lower end of the WBSs and all. So I hope you keep on cooperating with me and oblige please. Next thing, we'll have our honorable guest of honor, Mr. Ganesh Natarajan, giving us a couple of words on wisdom, guidance, and his opinion on the overall event. After that, we'll take a 5 minutes break, or 10 minutes maximum, wherein jury will have their own call and discussion on the results, and then there will be 3 finalists for tomorrow, which is the ultimate final. So, Mr. Natarajan, we can raise the motion.
Good evening and thanks for inviting me. I really found this fascinating the last 1 hour, and congratulations to both Ashish and Satish for making the debate very, very engaging. I still reminded me back to my college days when we used to do debates on topics which we didn't know at all. But usually there's three-level debates. And I still remember going for the first inter-college competition. And they said we're going to make it progressively more difficult to argue this point. So the first topic was that this house believes in bread, not cake. Bread, not cake, and the kind of arguments that came were really surprising. After 1 hour, they stopped all the contestants and said, now you argue on the same, slightly different topic. And the topic became, this house believes in bread. And the discussions on bread were much more elaborate than, in fact, people started with that. Many of you following English music, in those days there used to be something called the best of bread, which is a music group. So people started talking about music and everything else, and the topic went completely different. So we said, how much worse can it get? And the third stage was, the house believes. Full stop. And that was probably the most engaging discussion we've had. Because when you have such a philosophical topic, anything goes. Really. But listening to both of you, I mean, and I think Ashish, you mentioned the Lokpal business. And it's actually amazing. I mean, if you look at the project management standards of one party versus the other, here was one which was the institution. And here's the institution which believes that there is a certain project managed step-by-step methodology, which is throw the guy in jail. If there is a strike after 3 days, sports period, etc. Almost like a set pattern that I think they practiced pretty well in the previous incident, but just to go ahead. And here is another group, which is, whether you call it agile or scrum or whatever. Guy goes to jail and refuses to leave jail. Just I mean, unheard of. I first woke up and I said, this is going to be something serious when you talk about the jail Bharo campaign sitting in Bihar. I think the lesson it teaches us is, and I think Ganesh mentioned, that at the end of the day, it's not how technically competent you are. It is certainly not just a managerial task. But I think what our industry has shown time and again in the show, is that with this combination of very bright technical talent, supported by hopefully a layer of good management practices. Satish, I'm not sure I agree with you when you said that people are born managers. Management isn't trained. Many of us, I grew up in the wonderful state of Bihar, which is now Jharkhand. I never in my life thought I would want to be a CEO of a company. But I think life teaches you a lot of things. Training does a lot of good things for you. And I think you can do that. So I think whether you are a board manager or a trade manager or a choir manager, managerial capability, that is important. I think there's also a large responsibility for senior leadership. I think one you were making about that if there is no customer involvement, projects are bound to fail. Absolutely. For the sales guy to go and say that, look, and even if I say do it, saying now the customer doesn't need to come back to us, we will deliver the token project. Isn't that? But I think the learnings we are seeking, very often I'm asked to speak in China, I'm going to China next week, to speak at the World Economic Forum on exactly the same point. Saying why is it, I mean, in fact, the topic is that how much of the lead will India continue to retain over China. I have a very arrogant logical view, which is that every year, India's lead over China goes by 2 years. It's amazing. Because China has, forgive me for getting into a wonderful .NET and Java programs, China has much better skilled, dedicated .NET programs than India does. Because they produce them like a factory. It's almost like the manufacturing system comes into programming. Very, very good. But what really differentiates India from China is the extent of skill, innovation, ideas that we create. I remember somebody was asking me in China, I think that's more the city of Pune. Which side of the road do people drive? had just come off another monsoon like this one. And I started by saying, look, in England, people drive with the left. In the US, people drive with the right of the road. Today, we drive with whatever is left. If you go, you'll find what I'm talking about. It's pretty regular. But the point I'm making is that the difference between India and China is an inherent ability to innovate. Okay, even I live in Nagar and work in Marathi. And in the good old days, it used to take 5 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on how many trucks were passing by the country. This was much better. I'm saying that all used to, and of course, our friends in Delhi call it jugaad, which I hope is the word. But if you forget the jugaad part and look at innovation, that's it. And in fact, when I was chairman of NASCOM 3 years back, we got one of the very large consulting firms to do a study on the extent of rework that happens in the services industry. And they didn't come to the smaller companies, they actually went to the top 6 companies. And they came up with the statistic which was shocking even to us. We actually discussed it only in those doors. That there is over 30% of the work that is done by IT services companies is actually rework. But if you go to any other country, you probably find it's much worse. So I think the point I'm making is, there is still tremendous amount of work improvement that can happen through better program management, better project management, everything that we have alluded to in the last half an hour, 1 hour, is absolutely. So that's one point. And I think as most of you know, we are again entering into a period where people are using the big R word, recession and so on and so forth. Personally, I don't think there's going to be a recession. I think America will get to one more recession at this point. And it is a fact that if the IT stocks are all sliding down, it is a fact that it's going to be tougher in the next 6 months to 18 months. The projection we have for IT services industry will grow 18 to 20% this year. May well become 16%, not too sure. Nothing wrong with the 16%. Yesterday I was in Delhi in the CIA National Council meeting, and we were all looking very, very downcast when somebody said it will be a 7.7% growth this year. The reality is that the rest of the world is growing at 1% and 2%. We should still be proud of the fact that they are able to do 7.7%. Similar. I mean, the entire GDP of this country is going to grow 7.7%. As people in IT services, we can still be happy even if we grow by 40%. So I think we should take heart from that, not rest. But there is, as we discussed 3 years back, I still think there is a fair amount of rework that happens in this industry. I also believe that sometimes we don't train our project managers enough. I'm sure Ashish and Satish will not agree with me. So obviously are very well trained in what they talk about. But if there is a question that came from there, it's interesting. I get this question from many smaller companies, saying that, look, I don't think that project manager has the ability to manage this project. Now, when you have that kind of confidence problem, you might have 20 great technical people on the project. If they don't look up to leadership, I mean, like in the company, if the CEO is seen as an idiot, I mean, nobody knows. So I think the same logic applies to every level of program management. And I think one complaint I get from many American clients is, look, I met your project manager, he's not so young. He's only like 29 or 30 or 31. Our project manager are minimum 40 years. I keep arguing the fact that, look, it's not age, because Indian young people are very, very bright. They don't need too much of age to be able to get project management. Even though you think that, look, maybe there is some value to that experience. And so, when you're a young project manager, I think the onus on you to perform much better than what is expected. Especially when you have maybe slightly older people or experienced technical people. Right? Those are all important issues. I don't want to take words, and I'm not going to make a speech. But I do believe that this industry is going to continue to have a great future. One problem we have in our industry, especially from those of you who come from some of the top 3 or 4 companies, is that the stock markets have already priced our industry trade, which really means that people are almost expecting that 17-18% profit after tax. Some companies take it as 24%, other companies will be 12%, but that range is pretty low. So it's almost like people are assuming that for the next 12 years, your profitability will continue to be high double digits and will continue to grow at the rate of 20-50%. No industry anywhere in the world has seen that happen. Unfortunately, the 22-year-old stock market analyst believes in that. So the pressure on companies to keep performing is absolutely amazing. And I was talking to Chris Gopal in Delhi yesterday. It wasn't a great company, but willing to do a little less than XYZ company. It's almost like because they kind of do this. Absolutely not true. companies like TCS and Infosys and Wipro and Cognizant will continue to grow extremely well. Pune companies, whether it's Zensar or it's KPIT or the system, will grow. It's a question of whether somebody grows at 12% or somebody grows at 16%, somebody's profitability is 20%. It's really good. So when, in fact, somebody asked me the other day, is it true that the IT services industry is over and I should now join the music industry? They are great guitar, but always join the music industry. But don't join the music industry because you think this is the work of a very young, intellectual stock market analyst who said this industry is now over. There is an industry. But it is a fact that this industry will evolve. Most of us in NASCOM, CII are looking at, and something mentioned, you can't keep throwing bodies at the ground. At some point, because the costs are going up, you will find that much more discovery of IT, reusable code, everything else we'll be talking about, new methodologies, the fact that Scrum itself are, I think we'll go to the 3 standards. Come up with Scrum, it's great. But I'm saying we have to keep changing. This is one industry that will never stay the same. So the minute somebody feels, look, I'm educated, I'm reliant, I don't need another certification, you've already gone down. I think whether it's at my age or the age of many of you in this audience, please never stop learning. There is the continuous need for learning. That's what I like to say is that I think it's extremely important to have events like this. I mentioned that the organized system like this. Because if there is one thing that will continue to keep us ahead of our friends in the Philippines, in Vietnam, in China, and even America, it is our willingness to keep on because nothing can come and be as an innovation space. Now, I'm not saying you should have debates and communications and not worry about the technical point of engagement. Be technically very sound, but do not be afraid. Take it out. From that point of view, I think it was nothing to change. I think you had a really fantastic argument. And it reminded me of many of you read a Shakespeare book of Julius Caesar. I mean, the debate between Brutus and Mark Antony is the speeches they make. It's one of the best speeches to learn. Many of you don't know the story. Julius Caesar was escaped through a conspiracy, and the whole crowd is actually enraged because they know why Caesar got killed. And Brutus comes and makes a fantastic speech where he actually demonstrates what he says that, look, I love Caesar. He was almost like a brother, but I killed him because he was ambitious. And ambitious in the good old days, Roman Empire, and even today, is seen as bad. Nobody should be ambitious. As Narayan keeps saying, in India it's always nice to be poor. Nobody likes the rich man. It's almost like, I think it's a jealousy factor. Everything comes back. And then many of you remember Julius Caesar, Mark Antony comes, and he knows the mood of the people. He knows that everybody has been convinced by Brutus. He got the first shot of the debate. His friend Ashish got many times. that because he had said that look, Caesar was ambitious, so he killed him. Now he can't answer that. The 2 points that Brutus actually so beautifully makes. One is, he just gives instances. He talks about presenting Julius Caesar the crown on the banks of the fire, which he refuses 3 times. And then Antony also asks himself, what's his ambition? And slowly, if you read that wonderful passage from Julius Caesar, you find the crowd starts disbelieving, starts cheering, and slowly cheers him. And throughout, Antony will never say anything against Brutus. Brutus also stands there. And he uses that phrase which is so wonderfully extant in Julius Caesar. And he keeps saying, and so are they all honorable people. And he keeps saying to the end that they are all honorable people. Very similar to our friends Ashish and Ashish. Keeping agreeing with each other and still butchering. I think it was fantastic. I think with the power of engagement, power of debates, going back to the days of Plato and Socrates, which is the power of argument, that will win us the constant supremacy that we enjoy to get this. I really enjoyed myself. I hope all of you will continue to shine and will not go into guitar players and music. All the best and thank you very much for that.